Hey y'all, what's going on? It is Barb Meets World. We are here for the Real Housewives of Potomac's season 9, episode 2, entitled Double Trouble. Okay. Boom. And here we are. How are you all on this lovely Tuesday? I do apologize. I intended to have this video up yesterday. However, I got sidetracked with some other things and I was not able to do that. So, my apologies. Nonetheless, we are here and we're about to get into it, y'all. I got about like 40 minutes. And I just wanted to come and talk about this episode because a lot happened. A lot happened. And honestly, I just I find it crazy that there's certain people that I feel like I'm going up for that I would historically have never gone up for. So there's that right there. And then on the other side, I feel like I'm really liking Stacey so far. A lot of people I saw said that she was kind of giving Kenya Moore vibes. And I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Y'all let me know in the comments if you kind of see that in her or whatever. Nonetheless, before we get into the episode, y'all go ahead, hit that like button. It helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. And if you are not a subscriber, go ahead, hit that subscription button, become a Barb's babe. I would love to have you. And once this live concludes, why don't we keep the conversation going in the comment section below and share me with all your people. So that takes care of all of the housekeeping. Let's get into the episode, shall we? As you guys, come on in or whatever. As I said before, this episode is entitled Double Trouble, and that's hi Feisty. How are you today? Working, so it is okay. You stay in those bushes. That is totally okay. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. This episode though, y'all, picks up right where the first one ended. Of course, we saw Mia leaving the table. She was super upset, and she was upset because the other ladies, mainly Karen and freaking Gizelle, were coming for her kind of as a mother, she felt. So she gets up, Jacqueline goes after her, as well as Jassi also goes after her. Hello, brother. How are you today? Y'all go ahead and subscribe to my brother So Debonair's channel. He makes great content as well. So yes, go ahead and subscribe. Jacqueline, she does try to like lend her some words of encouragement. And I feel like, I don't know, are you guys buying it? Like, how do you guys feel? I still feel like I'm not blaming Mia solely, but I do feel like the way she was moving probably added some more fuel to the fire, and it's the son and her kids. Like, those are the people that I feel badly for the most, because they are the ones that are caught up in their parents' mess ultimately. And Gizelle's like, oh, I'm not saying she's not a good mother. I'm like, okay, but you didn't say she was a good mother at the same time. So like, come on now, Gizelle. And I felt like in this moment, Mia was mostly upset with Karen. Although later on in the episode, I feel like, I don't know if that was still the case. But during this moment, she seemed to be mostly upset toward Karen. And it's because, do you guys feel like Karen deflected in this moment? Do you guys feel like she took the spotlight off of herself by bringing up what's going on with Mia? At first, it's crazy because like I didn't even realize what was happening. And once I was live tweeting and once someone had brought that up, I was like, you know what? You're right. She did deflect and switch the whole focus onto everybody. Well, in this case, Mia. And that's insane. That is actually insane. And y'all know historically, Karen is somebody I go up for through and through, but I just have to call a spade a spade. So yeah. All of the table. Gizelle continues to give out her hats. Y'all, never again. Like, do not allow Gizelle to plan any more functions. Even though in this episode we were at another Gizelle function by the end of it, because this had it was just the theme just wasn't clicking for me through and through. Maybe I'm putting 20 on 10 here, but I just feel like somebody else should have thrown it, because list of people Mia has unapologetically exploited since being on the show: mother, father, son, sister, husband, childhood best friend. This is accurate. This is accurate. And I feel like this is one of those moments where it's like two things can be true at the same time. Like, Karen, you definitely have your stuff with you, and that's honestly what I feel like should be talked about right now. But at the same time, Mia, we can't forget that you have proven that you no holds barred when it comes to creating a storyline for this show. You, as Feisty said, have came in the season, her first season, it was a lot of the mother and the father stuff, as well as I think that's when she roped in some stuff with her sister. Then before we knew it, your so-called bestie, who didn't she like live with her at one point in their teenage years? Yeah, her like completely just flipped the narrative on her. And even with doing that, I know like her sister got involved. Like, she creates fires. She definitely does. So I think it was kind of like right message, wrong messenger. Maybe we could say that, because Gizelle and Karen, they also have their things with them as well. So it was never going to be received well coming from them. Remember when she told us about her son's struggles to try to pin Wendy for? Yes. I was not last season. Like the IEP, or yeah, that was last season. Yep, I remember. Jacqueline clearly felt some type of way too. I don't know if you guys caught that when she got her hat or whatever. She was like, I should have never left. Like, okay, like pipe down. Like, I see what angle I feel like she's taking this season, and I just hope that fares well for her, because again, like we were just saying, your so-called best friend at one point played you on national television. So yeah. Karen says this was not going to be the Inquisition party they thought it was going to be. I can handle anything, bring it. And I feel like that has deflection kind of written all over it. So yeah, Karen. She said Inquisition about 15 million times during this episode, and she should know, like, it's not even to really blame them as much as she should have known coming into this season. Feet were going to be on her neck about this situation, and I feel like she didn't prepare herself better in this instance. I don't. Anyway, moving on, we get this long awaited conversation between Gizelle and Wendy. I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter, but when I first watched the episode, I very much was like, that's it? Like, you guys aren't going to really get into all of the many examples that we have to pick from, of which Gizelle has wronged Wendy, came after Wendy, came after her marriage, her family, her body, like, just there's been numerous times, and I felt like they didn't really edit it in a way that we could focus on that. It just seemed kind of glossed over. And shout outs to the Brooke Ashley in this moment, because she tweeted exactly what I was thinking, at least, which is, I'm all for moving on, forgiving, but we have to have some tough conversations and get to the root. Wendy let her off way too easy and didn't bring up anything. This is crazy. And Wendy responded with saying, "No, baby, I brought up everything, saying I could not use her bathroom at the reasonably shady event, saying it was okay for me to be assaulted, because she didn't like her, didn't like me, bringing up a fake rumor about my husband, talking badly about my mother, etc. It was a 2-hour lunch." So for anybody who didn't catch this, I just wanted to highlight this because, as I said, the scene was giving very much glossed over, glazed over, and there wasn't really, I feel like, much accountability for all of these occurrences. But I don't see why Wendy would have any reason to lie. So I'm just going to sit here and say that, yes, I'm going to chalk it up to bad editing. I don't know why. And just looking at this right here, like saying I cannot use her bathroom at the reasonably shady event, like that is next level, like diabolically, just like that's inhumane, honestly. That's inhumane. And honestly, if Wendy would have dropped her pants right there and took on her front lawn, then it would have just been what it was. Because how are you going to say that I cannot use a restroom to relieve myself, like a human bodily function? Like that's dirty. That's nasty. And going back to this scene, did you guys catch at first when Gizelle said we're not doing the isms or anything like that? And I was like, was she talking about colorism? Like, what does she mean by that? Like, what, like, truthfully, what did she mean by that? What isms are we referring to, Gizelle? Huh? I don't know. I still feel like she was let off really easy. I do understand that at the end of the day, this is a job for them. It was clear that some people got some talkings to, and I think a lot of everybody knew that this season they was going to have to play nice. And in this moment, based on how it was edited and before I seen that tweet and all that stuff, I would have ventured to say that and just based on the trailer as well, I should say, it was giving y'all are going to try to be like, don't, no. I understand, as Brooke said, I understand moving on and forgiving on the surface enough to, keep the show going or whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I agree with how it was based on how it was edited. I did not like that. I didn't like it at all. They are never beating colorism accusations, Gizelle, nor production. Yeah. So I'm just like, again, what was that? What did you mean by that? Nonetheless, they go back and forth. And a lot of people had some things to say about how Wendy was dressed in this moment. Wendy looked good, as Wendy always does, in my opinion. Her stylist, which the name is failing me right now, but I follow her stylist on IG, and Wendy has been giving it to the girls for quite a few seasons now. And I don't know. Y'all know I like to be objective up here. So it really bothers me that when people try to make it seem like they just have all these issues with every single thing she does or this person does or whatever. At the end of the day, y'all do know this is a show, and I want you to wear your Sunday's best on my screen on Sunday night. Like, I want to see all of the feathers, all of the Van Cleef, all of the Cartier, all of the Chanel. I want to see it all. So I think Wendy looked fabulous, and I just feel like it's giving a hit dog is going to holler. Maybe y'all just wish that you had some style like that. That's all I can really equate it to. I don't know. Still confused about that isms though, y'all. Gizelle feels like when they're good, but when she's angry, she comes off condescending, which is something that she dislikes. Okay, Gizelle. Well, like, And I loved Wendy's response to this, because it's like, are we still in season 9 starting at the middle of stuff and not at the beginning? Because as Wendy said, it's not fair to police a response when someone started with you first. Like, and that's something that I feel like we say a lot, especially as it pertains to reality TV, where it's like, girl, you can't come for me and then police and say and dictate how low I take it when I come back in response. Like, if you come for me, like, I can't even say it up here right now, but just know that there's, again, going to be no holds barred, especially the way in which Gizelle was coming for her. It wasn't on no little trivial stuff, or like, it wasn't no little fun shade. Like, no, as I stated before, and as she stated in this tweet, the bathroom situation, saying it's okay to be assaulted because she doesn't like her, fake rumors about her husband, talking about her mother, so on and so forth. So those are grounds for me to take it as low as I want to go, if you ask me, because honestly, I don't feel like, no, I'm not even gonna say I know, because I watched the show, that there's nothing that Wendy did that warranted her being Gizelle coming for her in those ways. And I say that because if you guys remember, it was actually Wendy was really trying to be friends with Gizelle in the beginning and stuff. And it wasn't until after like the Monique situation and everything, when Gizelle decided to turn her back on Wendy or whatever, that things really changed and stuff. So I don't know. I don't get it, y'all. Like, yes, exactly. Called her mother a witch. Like, that's not something that someone's just going to be like, oh, okay, well, you're mean, and just be done with it. Like, no. Like, you can't. Okay. Nonetheless, and shout outs to Bravo for the flashback of back in 2021 when the whole Eddie affair rumor thing came up or whatever. Like, I feel like that was only one situation, and they should have brought up all these other ones that we've said before, because my, how soon some of us seem to forget these things. If I don't like you, I don't want to speak to you. Like, that's what I mean. Like, and I mean, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, if you don't like somebody, you don't want to speak to them or whatever. Oh yeah, like her coming in, that great. Another point, the whole Gizelle walking up in, was that the Happy Eddie event or whatever last season? Gizelle walks up there, doesn't even say like, and that's why we have certain phrases. That's why we have, and shout outs to Candace. Like, the line is always moving. It really is when it comes to certain people on the show. It seems like this is the best conversation that me and Wendy have ever had. I thought that we were not going to be besties, but I don't know. We might be bestie-ish now. Like, okay, like that, you're taking it a little too far left now, Gizelle, when you said that. Mia, on the other hand, says she's not trying to do that with her. And I hope she sticks by that. And I hope like this was a serious like wake up call as to how she needs to navigate the show. And honestly, by the end of this episode, I do feel like she realized how she needs to approach things going forward. And I'll get into that when we get to that scene. Then they talk a little bit about Mia and whatever, I don't care. Stacey, as I said before, I'm really liking Stacey, y'all. I can't even lie. She's at home with her daughter and her au pair, and we find out that she's originally from Detroit and she settled into DC when she had her daughter, I believe. And she's also lived in Philly when she was doing QVC. And they have a home in Munich as well because her husband is German, or soon to be ex-husband, I should say. And we find out that her daughter is trilingual, trying to be whatever. And we also find out that her and her ex-husband, like, they still live together. Like, he still lives in that home together. We're in her family home during this scene. And they do sleep separately, though. And they just try to, like, focus on her daughter and stuff, although her daughter doesn't know that they're in the midst of a divorce right now, in the middle of a divorce right now. She doesn't know that. And I do understand that you don't want to disrupt your child's the life that the only life that they've known. But I do feel like sometimes that does a disservice. Like, you're gonna have to rip the band-aid off sooner or later. And also, like, she's 8, I want to say. Like, she's not stupid. Like, she can probably definitely tell and pick up on the ways that they're interacting. And so I don't know. I don't, that's something that everybody's going to have their own opinions on or whatever. But I just think that it's never a good idea to, like, keep things, I feel like, lingering and prolonging certain things that, like, ultimately she's going to be impacted one way or another. So I do understand that they're trying to iron out some of the details, like custody and, like, living situations and stuff like that. But, like, girl, like, come on now. Like, you got a whole apartment too. You got a whole bachelorette pad downtown in DC. So, like, come on now. And she's sure that her ex-husband is dating, and she's sure that he probably also knows that she's seeing someone as well. And we'll get into that in just a second. But I like this. I like the scene with her. Again, as I said in the beginning, I like Stacey so far. I think she's going to continue to bring it. And she doesn't seem like she's afraid to speak on when she feels some type of way. And I like seeing that. I like seeing that on here. I really do. Moving on over to Karen's. We finally see Keiarna. We finally see our girl Kay. And we know that they got super close after Karen was there for Keiarna last season, when all of that foolishness went down at the GNA fashion show or whatever. So did you guys also catch when Keiarna was like, okay, I got a lemonade toast? I was like, was that shade too? Like, y'all gotta stop coming for Karen, because, oh my God, the jokes really just write themselves. And honestly, I knew that this season, but that we were going to get a lot of these one-liners and people coming for, Karen and her drinking and stuff like that. But it always just tickles me when I catch on to, like, these little comments and stuff. Then they've gotten super close, and we find out that Kay and her man, they're not engaged, but they are moving in together. They're currently building a house, and in the meantime, she's moved into his house. So, and if y'all have ever lived with anybody and y'all have ever gone through this transition, it's emphasis on the word transition. It definitely is. And I think we're going to unpack more and more of that. That's going to be a major part of her storyline this season based on the trailer. He better not piss me off. And it's an even bigger deal for her, because the last time she lived with somebody was 9 years ago when she was engaged to her late fiance. Which that was even, I think she spoke on how that was even a big deal. Just like, it's just a big deal, her moving in this direction after going through all of that, which I can understand. And she also said she ain't got to pack her whole bag anymore. And I was like, I know that's right, because y'all, okay, that was going to sound really crazy, but I was about to say, I just got rid of my whole bag like last year or something like that, which y'all would probably be like, wait, I thought you were married. What I meant, the actual physical bag. I used to have this, like, I don't know if it was JanSport or whatever that like popular sports bag backpack freaking brand is or whatever. I had this like floral duffel bag that was my hood bag, whatever. That bag got me through some times. It definitely did. Before me and my husband moved in together. And so I definitely understood what she meant when she said, like, oh, I ain't got it. Because, honey, and then God forbid you forget something. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I ain't trying to live on a bag. I want to be comfortable. I'm trying to hang some stuff up. I'm trying to stay a while. Like, I get it. I got it. Karen does encourage her to get the ring first. Karen is of a particular age. Karen, we know how she feels about being married or whatever. So I understood where she was coming from with that. Whether you agree or don't agree, that's fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong for her to have her feelings towards that. And it's clear that Keiarna's mom also felt like she wants to see her engaged as well. So yeah, again, I wasn't surprised that Karen said that to her at all. And what else did we find out in this scene? Oh, we found out that she was not invited to the hattitude party. And we get this like clip of Karen and Gizelle talking in that first scene that we saw them at in last week's episode, where Karen's like, what about Kay? And Giselle's all like, oh, well, I got to get back to the venue and see because I have a table and I don't know how many like the table fits and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and I forget exactly because I didn't go back and watch last season's reunion. So I don't remember exactly what was said, but I do feel like this was done purposefully because of something that Keiarna might have said to Gizelle in last season's episode. I know she kind of gave Ashley the business a bit, and I want to say there was some things that she directed toward Gizelle as well, and we know based on, as I said before, or as Gizelle has admitted, that she's going to switch up how she is and how she acts towards people when she's not happy, when they've gotten on her bad side. So I think this was just an act of that, because it's like, and I know last week, like I said, like, oh, maybe she's not popping up in this episode yet because they were still going over contracts or trying to figure out who all was going to be on the show and everything. But no, it's clear that it was done on purpose. And I feel like for the reasons I just said, that's exactly why. So Karen's like, well, they're having a GNA event or whatever. And hopefully, you're invited to that, which Kay, of course, gives a side eye to, because that's where all of that brawl last season, that's where it happened, at the GNA event. So I understand her being like, yeah, I'm just going to sit out on these GNA events going forward. Like, I totally understand that, because yeah, you were assaulted last time, and we know how humiliating and embarrassing and traumatic that was for her. Karen says that being as though it was right after the accident, it may have been too soon for her to have gotten together with the ladies, because it felt like an inquisition that has her looking at Mia and Jacqueline as two that may not be down for her. And if you don't F with her, it's going to be deuces. I feel like based on this entire episode that somebody told Karen what Jacqueline said, or they had a conversation offline or something like that, because it's clear that Jacqueline has made it to Karen's, like fully made it to her bad side right now. And when Jacqueline said how she felt about, because the whole Karen's whole deal is that if you're my friend, you're not waiting for the truth to come out or whatever. You're standing 10 toes behind me regardless. Like, you're believing in me. You see it for me through and through. And Jacqueline is very much on the side of, well, when the verdict comes out, like that's the truth, like that's what it is. Like, and I understand where both of them are coming from. However, it's clear that somebody had to have relayed that back to her or something, because yeah, Jacqueline, you're on Karen's list, clearly. And just the way that Jacqueline showed up at Gizelle's event versus Karen's event. And again, you would just think now that her and Mia are on better terms again, you would just think that she would have been wherever Mia was or have gone about whatever. But no, she was just at Gizelle's event. Oh my God, I've already been talking for, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be over. Then we see Ashley and Stacey at Stacey's family home. We find out that they met at Fox 5 Studios last year. Stacey has an on-air voice, which I picked up on as well. And they go on like this little walk. And right off the bat, Ashley starts grilling Stacey on the details of her marriage/divorce, which I feel like, Ashley, you have the audacity. Like, we know where Ashley lies as far as her and Michael. Okay. So you really have some nerve to be trying to get all into the mix of whatever somebody else has going on, and your stuff hasn't even been straight. Like, we don't know what is going on with your situation, Miss Ma'am. Just saying. Y'all live here together. Like, you were just living with Michael until he bought you that house. So what do you mean? Like, goodbye. She identifies as a Black woman. And they talk about like their kids and their kids' nationalities and stuff like that, which I'm just like, I'll say this. Like, although, I mean, I don't have children, and I don't have biracial children, clearly. So I understand this being like just a situation, like just being something that needs to be addressed or figured out, whatever. Like, I get it. But Ashley, not even Ashley, Stacey, you're saying that your daughter doesn't really have access to being around, you know, I guess like positive Black women role models or whatever. That's fine to say, like, okay, whatever. But it's clear that you have no, it looks like she got some money. It looks like she has no issues getting around and stuff like that. So I just feel like send her over to your folks' house for winter break. Freaking fly your family in or whatever. I don't feel like there's an excuse to be like, yeah, like there's just no, like there's just all this disconnect and I just can't seem to figure it out. Like, get her in a goddamn club or whatever, like a youth, like, I don't know, so like there's certain things that you can do. You're in this group now. I don't know how old Mia's daughter is or whatever. There's just like certain thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I just feel like that's a cop out. Hire a Black nanny. Yes, that even better. She has that old hair. Like, I just feel like there's ways in which this could be navigated if you really want to address it and want her to be equally as proud to be Black as she is German. Because it's clear that she knows the German grandparents and whatever. She speaks German. Like, so why haven't you been able to expose her to that if you say that you're, you know, a proud Black woman as well? Like, I just feel like there's ways to remedy that. And Ashley, I can't even with her, because that's something I feel like that was going to be, yeah. I'm like, where did the Spanish come in at too? Like, I mean, I get that's like a popular language to learn in schools. Like I took Spanish, obviously, but not like obviously, but like, yeah, like I took Spanish. Like it's usually like Spanish, Italian, like French. I mean, depending on what school you go to, of course. So I'm just like, I just feel like you could do more if you really want to. And yeah, that's why I just don't even have any words for what Ashley's part in this. I really don't. And then they end on the fact that Stacey is dating a gentleman that actually auditioned to be a QVC host or ever. Didn't say if he made it or not. I wonder. But the big deal with that is that he's such a devout Christian. They don't have sex. They have not had sex, and they go to church, they work out a lot, but there's no sex happening. She does feel like they're on the journey to marriage. But my thing is, if he's such a devout Christian, I just find it like a little odd that like you're sticking so strong to your barriers over here, but at the same time, wouldn't it still be sinful, being as though you're dating someone who's still legally married and kind of living with their husband? You see what I'm getting at here? I just feel like that should be as equally of a big deal in that person's eyes. Just saying. Moving on, Karen's car service drops her off at Gizelle's. So shady that they had to emphasize that. Gizelle was making some cookies, which we do know Gizelle, there's not much things she could do. She can't dress, she can't read, she can't do, but she can make some good baked goods apparently. So those cookies did look good. I'm just saying. And she's so messy talking about she was looking to see what mode of transportation Karen took to get there. Like this is what I mean about like, Karen, you might as well just lean into it this season, because they're not going to get their foot off your neck. Like, come on, girl. I'm gonna get you some water. Just bringing up blue eyes. And Karen lets her know it seemed like an inquisition that you set up, especially when the menu emphasized a non-alcoholic drink named after me. Like, not very nice. But in the same breath, Karen's like, all these reasons are why I like Gizelle or make her and stuff like that. So they see each other when it comes to like the shade. We know that they're the best like frenemies ever. So not surprised by that. And Gizelle also asks how Kay was. Karen let her know she was taken aback that she wasn't invited to the party. And Gizelle accuses Karen of being shady by telling Kay that she wasn't invited or whatever. She's like, I don't have an issue with Kay. And I'm just like, that screams that you do have an issue with Kay. And I just think that's stupid, because you're Gizelle. Gizelle says that as far as GNA, they're moving into more of a health and wellness journey, or direction, I should say. We know that her father passed. He had a brain tumor, and he passed. So this event is going to be geared towards that. Karen says she won't miss it, although she will be receiving the Femme Powered Award earlier that day. And as she's saying this, I want to say that's when they throw up this right here to let us know that, yeah, Friday, May 10th, 2024, 6 to 9 p.m. And I don't think we ever got the hours, the time frame of Gizelle's event, but it was clear that it was going to take time the same evening, pretty much 6 to 9. That's pretty much the hours that you have these types of events. So Gizelle's like, okay. And she's like, I received this invite like 3 months ago, and it wasn't even from Karen. So it seems like she was just an afterthought, because she was clearly not on the original recognition list with her 9 citations. I can't lie, like Gizelle was really pissed. And it's like, I said this in the beginning when I was saying that certain people, like, I've been not going up for, but agreeing with their comments. And it's like Gizelle in this moment, I guess for her, it's like, I've had this planned. You've RSVP'd. Everybody's RSVP'd. You know, like how important this is because it's for my dad, which Gizelle, there's certain things that we have to be objective about. And it's like, you know, she did really, you know, her dad, that was her person. Like she really loved her dad. So I get the seriousness behind this. And then the next day we see at, you know, 6:30 a.m. Karen choosing violence basically by sending out this text right here to the ladies saying, ladies all are invited, booked and busy in this group. As always, there are 2 events scheduled at the same time. I encourage all support both events. If you would like, transportation shuttle service has been graciously offered by Jassi to all who wish, from the femme-powered, where I will be honored, back to the GNA event to support our Fab Sisters GNA event. And I want to say after that, Gizelle was like, no, just go there. Like, don't, it's fine. So, I mean, Gizelle did tell them, like, go there. Maybe they didn't think that she was serious, or maybe they thought, like, I do feel like the girls, it was putting them in an awkward spot. And I do feel like it's like one of those situations where they really did try to go to both and see if they could, you know, support and, you know, all those things. So they were probably like, you know, she just saying that, like, let's go, let's still, you know, try to make some shake. So Gizelle is still really slighted by this because, again, she's like, what are you even getting honored for? Like running into a tree? And I was like, yikes, like, oh, like, and I feel like for the first time ever, Gizelle was entitled to being this level of upset. Now, here is where I see that Wendy is playing the game to get along with Gizelle, because she's like, you know, I don't know what this award is for. However, I want to support Karen. I said I'm going to support her. I'm going to see her get this award, and that's just what I'm going to do. So she let it be known that she don't really care about the fact that her and Gizelle made up 72, 48, however many hours ago. She is going to stick by Karen. And I feel like that was a subtle way of letting us know, letting everybody know that, yeah, like we may be cool on the surface or whatever. I might be able to play nice here and there, but overall, I'm still not trying to, you know, mess with her too close, is I feel like what Wendy was saying in this moment. And then Mia just feels like Karen needs attention. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe. Yeah. Stacey would never send an invite to a group of women that have already committed to another event. But then again, she's not Karen Huger. And again, I feel like it was them just feeling like super awkward and not knowing, like, okay, how to do this. And then even once they do all show up, I want to say, or I should say Ashley, she thought it was intentional. She's side-eyeing Karen because, and this is a major point, I feel like, because we know that Karen, she's always talking about how she's grieving the loss of her parents or whatever. She's always so big on family, Surrey County, parent relationships, all those things. So you would just think that she would have more respect and courtesy for Gizelle in this moment. I feel like, again, Ashley had a point with saying that, because we've seen Karen for seasons and seasons now talk about how close or how much she, you know, misses her parents. And, you know, basically, you know, time is of the essence, all the things, only to then turn around and basically, I got slapped Gizelle in the face by saying, y'all come over here and support me, and, you know, get over there when you get over there. And I feel like that was still what she was giving in this moment, of even when she talked to the ladies, and she kind of made it about like saying that they like her more than they like Gizelle, and just all those types of things, y'all. We see that at 6:30, the ladies hop on the van to head to Karen's event. Even Vivian showed up to the GNA event, and she was like, yeah, Ashley invited me, so I'm here. I like Vivian. I really do. She doesn't seem like somebody who would just do something to be messy or do something to, like, she just seems like she's gonna be somebody with sense and move with sense at all times. And I like that. As I said before, Jacqueline, she showed up to the GNA event. She wasn't in the text group. And that's why I think that another reason that somebody must have told Karen what Jacqueline said or something, because she is on the list right now. And Ashley, I want to say her and her Corona told the ladies to be there by like 8:30, or Jassi calls Ashley and she's like, yeah, we'll be there by like 8:30. Gizelle already said, I want to say that they need to be here no later than 7. Otherwise, it's like, tell them to turn around or whatever. And so once they leave Karen's event, they're rushing over to Giselle's event. They're supposed to arrive at 8 o'clock. I think it was like a 24-minute drive in between the two. And like Stacey's in the back, like, I told y'all we wouldn't make it in time. As I said before, Wendy and Kay, they're prioritizing Karen's event. So it's them over there. It's Stacey, Jassi, and Mia on the Sprinter trying to make it to the GNA event. They finally reached the event by 8:04, and immediately Gizelle was like, nope, get him out of here. Security. Like she was like, no, I told you guys not to come. And she took it as the ultimate form of disrespect. And that's why I'm like, okay, very, very, very Housewives on brand with Housewives, the whole like make a spectacle, kick you out in public type of thing. So I feel like Gizelle was trying to make it a moment, but at the same time, I do feel like she felt slighted. She really did. And I don't think this is the end that we're going to hear of this. And she really, I wouldn't feel any type of way if she really did come for Karen and, whack her over the head, about 15 million times. I feel like, again, she would be justified in this moment for doing that. But I don't know. Who knows if she's going to do that? Who knows if she's just going to take it on the girls? Whatever. I saw like a little preview clip, maybe like 5 minutes into next week's episode, where Ashley comes out asking for like them to still donate once they get back onto the Sprinter. And it's just like, how tacky. Oh my. And I love how Jassi handled that situation. We'll get more into that next week. But it's the fact that Karen's like, obviously I'm more likable than Gizelle. And I'm like, see, that's kind of messed up. I'm not even gonna lie. That's kind of messed up that you would take this approach to it, knowing that any other time you're somebody who's all about the parents and yada yada. Is there anything else I want to say? No, that was pretty much the episode, y'all. I really like this confessional look of Karen's. Oh, I think she just needs to keep the short hair. I think she does. Like I've liked her in short hair ever since last season with this. Like that. There are some other good confessional. Oh, I liked Kay's confessional look. This one I did. This one not as much, but yeah. And I really like this confessional look of Stacey's. But that's all I got, y'all. Excuse me, I just sneezed. That's all I got for you guys. Went over a little bit. Got to get going here. So y'all let me know what your thoughts are of this episode in the comments below. Shout outs to Feisty and my brother So Deb for coming through in these comments. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bye.